Hi Taurus, this is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your August 2017 Soul Tarot reading. I did shuffle the cards and channel a little bit of messaging and chattered on, led by Spirit this morning. So if you would like to see the process of shuffling the cards, people sometimes ask me. And most of the time I don't do it on camera because sometimes I shuffle for an hour, believe it or not, while I meditate and talk with Spirit and ask for the messages to come out, which is why I think they're often so deep. So this morning we did that. Spirit said, invite you in. Everybody's getting invited into Moonrise Cottage this month because this is a portal. It is the purpose of this place. So I think that video is 20 minutes long, something like that. And it's there if you choose to participate. The cards, if you didn't watch that video, I talked about last month's reading and the process you've been through this year. So the Spirit's saying, you know, it's worth a watch. Go check it out. There's some messages that came through about this moment that you're in. Sort of the prelude, Spirit says. So when the cards started coming out, these three cards jumped right out of the deck. And these two, okay, the spirit energy and the aspects of you, I think actually those came out first. And then these jumped out face up. So that's where I'm going to start today. We'll see what happens. Okay, so everything I already said in part one. The Death card, the Liberator, right in the center. And over the top of that was this notion of you standing in this moment just before you grasp the sword of victory and Spirit saying, step into yourself, fully self-acknowledged and acknowledged by Spirit as a spiritual warrior. In order to do that, you must be liberated. It does require a certain kind of a death. And you know, Spirit's saying in a beautiful, happy, positive way. It might be that the change is shocking or frustrating or anxiety-producing in some ways. But you are definitely going through a tunnel. That's what Spirit's saying. You went through. You've been coming through, and the Sacred Shaman has been with you this year through your journey very intensely to release you from the bondage you were in. And so the chatter this morning was about releasing you into the fullness of your nature with all of the aspects of you intact. And so what I love about the way this happens, look at this. The Woman of Knowledge. See the stone? Look at that. How about it? That's where Spirit guided me to start the reading. With the, you know, really, if you haven't seen the first part of this, I think now I'm thinking you should go watch it. All right, so there's the Sacred Spiral. Exactly where the reading started. Coming to the center, this journey that it requires of us to circle ourselves and through our lives. So, this is this beautiful woman. Spirit says there's light about her head. So there's something about your awareness this month that's going to be heightened. That's the message. It's not about you know, a Caucasian lady with blonde hair. So, again, when you see these videos, you know what? I have to pause. I'm getting a warning on my recording screen that the camera is about to stop. So let me check out. It's interesting. So, just take a deep breath. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. That was my camera telling me that my memory was full. All right, so back to this beautiful lady. Spirit says she's journeyed far. You know, everything in these illustrations have meaning. So when you look into the cards, Spirit wants you to really, you know, certainly engage with the message that's coming through my voice, but also engage with the message that's coming through to you intuitively as you look into the image. So you see the light. Look at the light. Wow. this woman has traveled far. She is of the sacred realm, source energy. That is why she has the midnight blue garment of the universe, of source. And what she's actually doing is picking herbs that are to be used for healing. She is a healer, and she is picking the herbs and the plants that will create the sacred healing literally from a gravestone. They are growing up out of the bones of the person who is buried here. And so, there's a story that goes with this. I'm not going to tell it, but Spirit's saying it's not needed. So, what's needed is this. The hands of Spirit harvesting that which grows from the beautiful spiritual liberation that you have had. That is what's happening for you coming through the eclipse. Look how beautiful that is. Out of your own death. The birth, death, birth, life cycle, the turning of the spiral. And look, there's the flowers that were out in the meadow. They looked kind of like that. And they're all gone. They're just gone. I have to say, it may be self-indulgent of me, but I love what happens here when these readings come out. And I love your patience with me as I follow the path of the energy, like a little butterfly drinking some nectar. I'm just flitting around with the energy, finding its center so the reading can come out. So whatever the process, the death process that you came through, coming through the portal, being liberated into the fullness of your nature, your softness and your strength, getting this healing out of that from which you are shifting because you are going deeper into your own nature. That is why what resided within you before helps create the healing. It comes up through the center. That's why the portal was there. That healing arrives up through the center of your being when you come through the portal, because you are traveling in a spiral pattern, says Spirit. So there's source energy. That's what I was talking about. And what's interesting to me is the sacred male energy has been here, I think, through almost every reading, really showing up in a way that hasn't happened prior to these moments. So I just want to acknowledge the beauty of the sacred male archetype. And it is about spark, impetus, the genesis. And look at the spirals right on the face. Look at that's the tattoo. Check it out. That's his beard. Also spirals. You're just spiraling so deep, beautiful Taurus, through this eclipse. So deep. So deep that here on the human realm, so this is the leading from Spirit, okay? The impetus for change, the will. And in these moments, as you are surrounded, encircled in this transformative process, it's interesting. Listen please to some of the sacred music that I posted on the playlist that has sitar music, or anything that you find in your own life that has strings. It is the vibration on which you travel in your own spiral. And you see the spiral right here on his shoulder as he's playing the instrument, going very deep. And that's why Spirit really wanted these videos to be meditations in a more overt way. So this is the rememberer of lore, the sacred bard. And in these moments you are going to remember and recapture and regrow some part of yourself that has been lying underneath the surface. You are going to harvest that part of you this month, coming through the eclipse. It's a really beautiful message. All right. And by so doing, you increase your strength, which is, Spirit says, everybody already knows about your strength, right? Do you see that hair? There's a story Spirit wants me to tell you about this card. This is a sacred goddess of victory. Her sword is unbeatable. Spirit wants me to show you that. More images of the sacred spiral. You see the one at her throat chakra? It may be there's something about the truth of yourself that you are going to begin to speak about now. Spirit's saying. So, look at that. Just the nature of change. And Spirit's saying in every fiber of her being. See? The empowerer. Of strength. So, back to the beautiful rabbit. In the ancient Celtic days, when a battle was ensuing, they would bring a hare in a basket. And when the armies were lined up, before the charge happened, they would loose the hare and use the way it ran across the battlefield as a divinatory tool to see where the energy is going. And so Spirit wants you to pay attention to this aspect of your journey and where you have come from. That's why the spiral is here. Okay? So the other thing about this, people always want to know, these things look a little gruesome, and I guess they are. The Celtic peoples believed that the soul resided in the head, and they would bring the heads back from a battlefield in order for the soul to return to its home. That's a beautiful message. You see how activated that woman is? The sacred feminine, imbued in all her strength as a spiritual warrior. And so, what's interesting about this, to me, we see a reminder of the portal. That's why Spirit didn't want these cards to come out the typical way. Spirit really wanted me to walk you back through last month and cause you to think about that. So, having been liberated, standing ready to take up your place as a spiritual warrior, the moment before you begin, that was last month's journey. And, actually the outcome card was the augury of skill. So you were being told you're coming to a new place, a new starting point through that liberation. And here you are. And the first step is rebirth in this way. Harvesting that which comes from your former life. Growing up the wisdom of your existence. And this beautiful male energy. Standing here, Spirit says like that, okay? Bonded together with the sacred feminine. Which has also been a message that's coming through. It is time for these two energies to really join together. Spirit says if you can go online and find a video of yin and yang and just watch how they spiral in and out of each other. There's something about the nature of the flow of energy inside you and between men and women here on the planet that is coming closer to its source set point. So, in order for the impetus of male energy to spark a life, to create on its own vibration, using that as a power for creation, it goes out into the universe, Spirit says, but it goes nowhere without that. There's something very deep about this notion coming through me that I honestly, sometimes, I don't have words for the things that come through me. Spirit says, just look into the cards, okay? The blending of male and female energy. They really, in order for creation to happen, those energies must be joined and must be respected, each for the nature of their own power. Look at that. Look. This is, in the traditional tarot, this is the Strength card. I can't wait to hear from you folks about this. Because, I always understand that on some level you know more about it than I do. You're living it. So anybody who has the impulse, put some messages on the thread below the video. I can't wait to hear your comments. Okay? All right. So, all right, Spirit wants me to go here. Ah, look. That young maiden is made of flowers. The flowers that were just mown. There were so many beautiful flowers here, and they're all gone. So, the river of life is standing beside her. There is an obstacle in her path. You see that? This is the revelation. Your skills are being revealed to you, and that is your bridge to the next portion of your journey through the month of August, through the eclipse, and beyond, Spirit says. So, through the way you deal with obstacles, things are going to be revealed to you. And what Spirit's saying is, this energy about yourself that's being revealed to you is going to help you to come into a deep form of self-knowledge and reveal to you a skill set that you have not previously been able or willing to access in order to add to your power base as a power holder. So this young lady, it's interesting to me, this coming up in the Taurus story this month. So this young lady was betrothed or married to someone she didn't want. She didn't really have any choice in it. So she decided to take matters into her own hands and take care of business, which is what Taurus does. That phrase has been coming through all morning. Okay, so she did it by figuring out her opponent's weakness and basically going in for the kill. And, through deceit, without standing up in her power, like the card that was here last month, this is a continuation of that message. So that message comes as your bridge card to the spiritual aspect of your journey this month. Right? So eventually what happened was, she had the power inside of her. She was a magical girl made of flowers. She could have taken care of it, using the softer side of her nature. That's the message. There you go. Okay. But what she did was use deceit in order to solve the problem and cause someone else's death. She was turned into an owl and cast out into the forest to live out her days in the darkness. It's very interesting that this is the bridge. Okay. Alright, Spirit's telling me to keep going. Ah, look. Look at that. That's beautiful. So, this is the Renewer of Devotion. A beautiful Major Arcana card. The first stop, Spirit says, on your spiritual journey. And, Spirit's telling me to do this. Okay, see that? So, this is what's happening here in the earthly realm. And this is what happens above in the spiritual realm. Look at that. Do you see that male energy? Beautiful. Look at that. That is the sacred cauldron out of which healing arises. This vessel actually exists. You can look it up online. This was found in a bog in Denmark. These are elders' flowers, blossoms, that are used for healing. Spirit says, look at the mystical aspect of where this card, where this image resides, and you will understand that it's the triple deities. See the spiral? Look at that. Spirit's not giving me any words about this. I want you to just look into the card, okay? Okay. So, and you know what's just dawned on me? You see what's happening? We're going around the reading like this. And that's where we're going to stop. Isn't that amazing? I'm getting a chill now. Okay, let's see. Wow, look. Look at that. The Queen of Art. Look at that beautiful garment. That beautiful blue-green garment. And you see where she's sitting? Now I'm getting choked up, Taurus, honestly. Whew, look at that. She sits enthroned in the triple spiral. Birth, death, and rebirth. The turning of your days, the turning of your life, your spiritual destiny unfolding through the turning of the spiral. That is blowing my mind. Look at the activation. Wow. And look what sits beside her. Fire. The passion. And Spirit says, you know, here's what's coming through. Fire is a cleansing agent. Spirit is, you know, through the imagery, burning away that which can be released. And because you've had the sacred shaman here so many times, you know, it's interesting. Spirit yesterday was telling me, do a fire ceremony. Do a fire. It just kept coming through. It's time for a fire ceremony. I'm going to do it. Maybe that'll be part 3 if you want to watch me do it. I'll make another video. Okay, I'm going to do it for you guys. So, in your own life, whatever it is you'd like to release, Spirit says, write it down on a piece of paper, put it in a little vessel, say some prayers, thank it, whatever it is, for having journeyed with you. Because it is the blessings that came through, both the things that are positive and the things that challenged you, that bring you to this moment. Through the turning, through the spiral, and brings your activation, so you are prepared for the eclipse. Again, beautiful sacred female energy. Spirit. What Spirit's saying is the energy in which new life can be supported and can grow is the sacred female. And there she is, the Queen of Art, able to manifest, sitting with the fire of life, the passion of life at her side. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, Spirit's telling me to do this. Bear with me. I'm just going to put that right there. This thing is mesmerizing even to me. All right, let's look. More discussion. This card is about the imbalance of power in a relationship. It's interesting. So, let me ruminate about that for a moment. Just look into the card. This is the combat of knowledge. So what's coming through about this is it's time to be, to take the appropriate amount of care wielding the knowledge that you are coming into as a spiritual warrior. It is this knowledge that will cause some challenges to arise for you because, you know, what I'm getting is there are some ethical things that you, going forward, you will no longer charge with your horns down at a spirit saying at an insult. And I'm okay. So, just one moment. That which causes your power hackles to go up and want you to, you know, makes you want to charge forward. That which is your nature, it's coming into a greater balance. So, knowledge is going to be one of the tools that you use. And in this moment, see that number 5? You're on the pathway. You're kind of at the halfway mark. And so that's what the new growth is going to be about. And note that she is pregnant. She's actually in labor while she's running this race. She ran a race with a horse and she won. And she was set on this journey, Spirit says, by her husband who was not respectful of her. That's what the sort of the backstory is. Spirit says in this moment is to help you understand. This is a highly fertile moment in all the ways it has been displayed here. Very fertile. And Spirit says, you see this? This and this are aligned. That's why this is a number 5. So what Spirit's telling me is you are already moving through. This revelation is sending you on your spirit journey. This skill set that was being chattered about in the beginning of the part 1. All right? That's what sends you on your spirit journey. It's the bridge card. Something being revealed to you. Skills coming to the surface in order to take them up and use them. So, this was a very powerful goddess. She married a king. And she agreed to marry him, gave him a couple of conditions. One was, you don't reveal my nature. Do not, my name is a secret. He broke the vow. He broke the pledge. He was having a drinking party with some of his buddies, and he owned a lot of powerful racehorses. And so they were sort of having what I call a bragathon. And they were drinking and talking about horses and, that kind of a thing. He started bragging about his horses, and people were challenging him. And finally, in his moment of frustration, because he just wanted to dominate the conversation, oh, that's what it is. Okay, thank you, Spirit. He had a need to exert his dominance, even when it negatively affected that which was precious to him, this beautiful goddess that he was married to. So he revealed her and said, my wife is so-and-so, and she's a magical goddess, and she can actually run faster than any of my horses, so, like it was like that. And so then he had to say, honey, this thing happened, and you have to run a race now. So a wager was made, because nobody believed him. So then to save face, he had to compel her, while heavily pregnant, to run this race. And you can imagine how mad she was, right? So she did it. And upon reaching the finish line, she gave birth to twins and vanquished him from her life forever. And so what Spirit's saying is, that's kind of the opposite of what happened in this story. So it's again, Spirit says, look at last month and see what was right here. Okay? And look at the difference. Big difference. A giant change. Having come into your power. What happens when you hit an obstacle or when someone comes at you or a situation? Spirit says. Okay? The way with which you meet your challenges is changing because you are coming into the deepest, widest aspects of yourself. She gave birth to twins. And the words that are coming in are the strength and the softness. And when they are aligned, the male and female parts of your energy, something beautiful emerges. Really beautiful. Okay? So let's see what that is. Look at that. Taurus, this is so beautiful. Wow. All right. Look. Okay, you see what happens when male and female energy combine? A new life gestates. And there you are in the center. And these leaves, they can indicate, according to the card, according to the book, the feeling of overwhelm. So, Spirit's saying, go easy. Go softly there. That's the phrase that's coming through. Know that this is a process that you're in. And that is why last month you were standing in the moment just before you take up the sword, because first this had to happen. You had to remember yourself. In order to take up your strength, Spirit's asking me to do this. Okay? Sometimes Spirit asks me to play the movie. Let's see. Let me figure out if I can. There we go. Okay. I think this is the movie. There you are, having been liberated, having come back to this realm through this death process that you went on, in order to illuminate your ability to understand. You have come back to this place, to your own life, to harvest the beautiful gifts that come out of that part of you that has been put aside, or that is shifting and changing through a liberation process. Okay? And that brings the spark, the impetus, the beautiful male energy that seeks a new life based on a deeper understanding of your own resonance, how you vibrate in this realm, and what that energy brings to you and from you. Because in order to play this kind of an instrument, it's necessary to have a certain type of vibration. And Spirit says, that's why the card looks like this. That vibration comes to you from Source and comes through you. And with that, encircled in that, you play the instrument and send that vibration out. And that is what we are all being prepared to do. That's what I do. And I certainly had to come through a death process to get to this place in my life where I'm here on YouTube with you. This is really beautiful. Okay, so here we go. Okay, male energy, the impetus, the spark, the intention of a new life with a different type of vibrational essence. Okay, look. In order to regestate. And this is the signification of Pisces. Clearly, it's a salmon. And the salmon returns to the source in order to regestate and lay eggs and begin the next part of its journey. That is just so beautiful. This is a really profound message. And around you, all this beautiful source energy, there's eagle, right next to your head. Okay? Returning to the source and sacred exalted vision. Please go and look up eagle medicine, salmon, raven and crow, owl, and look at this. Okay, that's reincarnation. That's about stamina and strength and ethical existence. Night vision, being able to see in the dark. It's a very deep reworking, Spirit says. Okay. And the purpose of it is for you to come, follow the energy, and come into your strength. This is really beautiful. I'm truly, personally, I'm astounded. Okay, so, Spirit's asking me to show you that. One more time. Isn't that gorgeous? The luminance that comes off of this, it's a little hard to hold on to. The luminance that comes off of this is part of the message, Spirit says. Look at it. Look how it literally glows all by itself. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's see what's at the center. Look. Wow. Look at, okay. You see that? This is a very profound, sacred moment, Taurus. Very deeply profound. Again, do you see the midnight blue garment? The sacred female energy. This is the Queen of Knowledge, who literally sits suspended in the universe. And what she does is she's weaving the strings of your destiny in this sacred instrument that looks like a harp. Isn't it interesting? More strings. The strings of your destiny. All the parts of you now being revealed in order to be woven together to create a new tapestry for your life. And therein lies your strength. You remember that goddess who gave birth to twins? There they are. This is intense. Wow. Okay. Hang on a second. Okay, so this being your outcome, I always wish I could get this thing to stand up, but it's just not meant to do it. Spirit says. Let it be what it is, Spirit's telling me. Okay, so there's your outcome card. This is the Spirit energy that is guiding your progress this month. That's the intention. And so, you know, that male energy that's bringing the spark, the impetus for change, this is the change it intends to bring. And, you know, handing it right in the moment that it begins to be sent out, it has to be given to the sacred female in order for it to grow and incarnate. That's what this message is about. In part, Spirit wants you to be very clear about that. And who better to do it than the Queen of Knowledge? So gorgeous. I could, you know, honestly, I could just stare into this card for an hour. It's so beautiful. Wow, okay. So, let's see. What is here? Okay. Ooh, give me a moment. Let me focus. Okay. So you know all that chatter that was coming out about the way in which you do battle and, you know, seeking to move away from this style of existence, the nature, you know, renewing your devotion, coming into this artful way of doing your life. And this woman giving birth to this new life, giving birth to twins, in order to change her destiny and vanquish those kinds of battles from her life. So the soft part of your nature coming to the surface. So that the way in which you do battle changes forever. Whatever battle means to you, Spirit says it doesn't matter. You will understand on the inside, okay? So look, here's the card. Look at that. Spirit says just look into the card. I'm not going to say anything for a moment. Just look. You know that sword you were getting ready to put your hands on last month? Spirit says, there it is. That is why it requires preparation. The spiritual warrior's battle is always with the self, and that is the journey, the spiral that you've been on. If you have not seen the videos for the prior 4 or 5 months, I'm urging you, Spirit is urging you to go and watch them. This is the culmination of that journey. And coming through the eclipse will solidify your shift and change, and then you step on your new journey. There's the fire. Spirit says. So, one more comment, a couple more comments about this card. This woman, sacred, again, sacred male and female energy, okay? These both are warriors. She was literally trying to kill him. There's a backstory. Spirit says we don't need to go into that, but just sort of the Spirit says, the naked fact of it, all right? So, this man caused a lot of injury to this woman. Not intentional. It's just, you know, he was a warrior, and he killed someone that was beloved to her. So she put on her armor and she went out to find him. And she was hell-bent on taking revenge. So they got into this epic battle. And Spirit's saying, you know, it's about the energies inside of you that have been doing battle. And through this battle that they were locked in, there was a courtship. And Spirit says, this is, you know, the discussion is about the two sides of you. It's time for you to pull your beautiful, soft, feminine side to safe ground and join with that energy. All you gorgeous Taurus warriors. It's going to increase your strength. So, you know, there comes a moment when this woman fell into the river, she almost got washed away. See how unhappy she is? And, you know, in that moment, they kind of both surrendered. He realized how much he loved her. He had gained a lot of respect for her strength and her nature and her properties and her aspects as a being. He put the sword into the ground and reached out to keep her, Spirit saying, you know, in the story it's about keep her from being washed away. Spirit saying, as it regards your journey, to keep her, okay, internalized in order to pull her deeper into his own nature, into his life. Spirit's talking about the yin and yang again, because he understood, finally, how much he needed her. And she went through a similar process. And so you see how she still has her sword. she actually handed him the sword. She is hanging onto the ballast of it. And so while he's pulling her up, she is extending her sword to him. Spirit says, it's the perfect analogy of yin and yang. In, to, and out of each other. So Spirit's saying, it's about pulling the sacred feminine energy into your being. And you have been, apparently, on some aspect, in some way, having an internal battle in order to balance your energy. And that courtship of that battle has slowly been revealed to you, which is what happened to these two, right? They were just intent on killing each other. and eventually, because of that battle, they came to realize, wait a minute, there's something else here. It's a beautiful story. Spirit says, it's the beautiful love story of the self. Okay, so I am going to pick from the bag of runes for you, Taurus. Even though Spirit says this, in some way, that's your rune for the month. This is the notion Spirit wants to leave you with. But I'm feeling the desire, so I'm going to go for it. Spirit, please help reveal any other information that needs to come out that will help Taurus on its journey this month through the eclipses coming in August. The first one actually coming just a week from now. Okay. This is beautiful. Look at that. Spirit wants you to look into this stone. Do you see how there are two sides that join in the middle? Okay, so I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to read to you from the book. Whew, that is a beautiful stone. It is the rune of movement. Movement and progress. In case you want to look it up for yourself, there it is. Okay. This is a rune of transit. Transition and movement. Physical shifts, new dwelling places, new attitudes, or a new life. Okay. Spirit's asking me to do one more thing. There is about this rune a sense of gradual development and steady progress, with accompanying notion of slow growth through numerous shifts and changes. Any relationship needs to undergo changes if it is to live and grow. Moral effort and steadfastness are called for when you draw movement. It is one of the cycle runes. As I cultivate my own nature, all else follows. This rune symbol is the horse, and it signifies the bond between horse and rider. Isn't that interesting? Look. Loving it. Bronze Age artifacts show a horse drawing the sun across the sky. you have progressed far enough to feel a measure of safety in your position. And now it is time to turn again and face the future, reassured, prepared to share the good fortune that comes your way. The sharing is significant since it relates to the sun's power to foster life and illuminate all things with its light. That's just so beautiful. Taurus, thank you so much for being here and for all the work you're doing in your own life and on your own spiritual warrior's path. Sending you my love and light and hugs. I'll be traveling with you through the eclipses, and we'll see each other on the flip side. Okay? Don't forget to check out the information about the live streaming. It'll be your opportunity to ask questions and chat with me in real time. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful month.